Do you know who the people who took home the most statuettes were? For almost a century, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Awards have honored the great achievements of the audiovisual field, in several areas. The time has come to look a little at the awards past, and here, we'll tell you which are the 10 artists who have won the most Oscars in the entire history of the award. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. 6th place. Billy Wilder. 6 awards. Born in Austria and based in the United States during World War II, Billy Wilder became one of the greatest filmmakers in history, one of the great exponents of the golden age of Hollywood. Known for having a devastating versatility, which allowed him to explore everything from drama to comedy and even mystery, Wilder was nominated 21 times at the awards. Of these, he won 6 statuettes, 3 in the Best Screenplay category, 2 in the Best Director category and 1 for Best Film. Among the films that won him an award, we can mention Sunset Boulevard, The Lost Weekend and the classic The Apartment. Furthermore, in 1987, he also received an honorary award from the Academy for the consistency of his work. 5th place, tie. Gary Rydstrom. 7 awards. One of the most underrated components of film production is sound, which helps to immerse us in a story with complete tradition, when done correctly. Several artists have become famous for their talent in creating a true sound universe, and Gary Rydstrom stands out among them, having received 20 Oscar nominations. Of all these restrictions, he ended up winning 7 statuettes, divided into the categories of Best Sound and Best Sound Effects Editing. You certainly already know a little about his work, as he was one of those responsible for creating the entire experience in films such as Titanic, Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park and Terminator 2. 5th place, tie. Rick Baker. 7 awards. Anyone who thinks that all the current Oscar categories appeared in the first edition of the ceremony, held almost 100 years ago, is mistaken. No, instead, many awards were created over the years and with increasing demand in the film market, and this was the case with the Best Makeup category, which only appeared in 1981. Interestingly, Rick Baker was the winner of the first edition of the award and, since then, he has become the most prestigious makeup artist in the industry, having already received 11 nominations, of which he won 7. His award-winning works include the classic An American Werewolf in London, Harry and the Hendersons, The Grinch, The Nutty Professor and Men in Black, among others. 4th place, tie. Fred Quimby. 8 awards. Although he began his career as a journalist, Fred Quimby became famous thanks to his work in the audiovisual market, especially for producing several Tom and Jerry animated shorts. Known for having headed MGM's animation department, he received 18 nominations in the Best Animated Short Film category. In total, he received 8 statuettes in the category, and what is surprising is the fact that, among these, only one does not belong to the Tom and Jerry franchise. Thanks to his influence in the animation industry, he was one of the mentors of William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, creators of the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo and dozens of other animated classics. 4th place, tie. Edith Head. 8 awards. Costumes are essential for telling a story, capturing the audience's perception through visuals. That's why the Oscar category always has something to talk about. Edith Head, an American born in California in 1897, ended up establishing herself as one of the greatest costume designers in the history of Hollywood, which is only proven by her 35 Academy Award nominations. Of all these, she took home 8 statuettes, becoming the record holder in the category, thanks to films such as All About Eve, A Place in the Sun, The Sting and Roman Holiday. Fun fact, Edith Head's impact on Hollywood was so great that stylist Edna Moda, from The Incredibles, was inspired by her. 4th place, tie. Alan Menken. 8 awards. Music is another very important component in a film, especially if we talk about musicals like Disney animations. Therefore, After creating the soundtrack and music for such famous films as Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Little Mermaid, it is no surprise that Alan Menken is the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences record holder. In total, he has been nominated 19 times, both in the Best Original Song and Best Soundtrack categories. Of these, he took home 8 statuettes, all for his work at Disney. The last time he was nominated for the award was in 2010, for Tangled, but he ended up losing the Best Original Song category to Toy Story 3. Third place, tie. Dennis Muren. 9 awards. Having worked alongside renowned filmmakers such as Steven Spielberg, James Cameron and George Lucas, American Dennis Muren was a pioneer in the field of visual effects for cinema, having developed effects for classics such as Jurassic Park, Terminator 2 and Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Muren won a total of 9 Oscar statuettes, 8 in the classic category of Best Special Effects and a technical award for him and Industrial Light and Magic. Some of his victories include, in addition to those mentioned above, films such as War of the Worlds, Indiana Jones, and The Temple of Doom and the Abyss. Third place, tie. Alfred Newman. 9 awards. Tied with Dennis, we have Alfred Newman, composer and orchestra conductor who was nominated for an Oscar 45 times for his work in various films, having won 9 statuettes. Born and raised in Connecticut, young Alfred was a child prodigy and learned to play the piano at the age of 5. Newman composed the scores for several film classics, such as the 1939 versions of Wuthering Heights and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, as well as All About Eve, How Green Was My Valley, the greatest story ever told in Airport. His family includes several famous Hollywood composers, such as Randy, Thomas and David Newman. Second place. Cedric Gibbons. 11 awards. Art direction is one of the most interesting areas of cinema, as it is an extremely important department that needs to disguise itself amidst the world presented to us on the screen. That's why the Best Production Design category was created, to honor the artists responsible for creating incredible worlds based on visuals and scenarios. Cedric Gibbons was one of those artists, and his contribution to Hollywood is invaluable. In addition to being nominated 39 times in the category, he has already received 11 statuettes, and here's a very interesting fact. He is the artist responsible for the design of the Academy Awards themselves, the golden statue that became popularly known as the Oscars. First place. Walt Disney. 22 awards. Firstly, we have a very famous and influential name in the film industry. In addition to founding his own studio, which bears his name to this day, Walt Disney was also a very important animator and film producer, whose work opened the doors to a new era of animation in Hollywood. His work has always been highly regarded by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and living proof of this is that he has already won 22 statuettes throughout his career, in competitive categories ranging from Best Animated Short to Best Documentary Short. He also received 4 honorary awards from the Academy, totaling 26 statuettes throughout his life. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. See you in the next video.